Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Philip and I'm an avid fan of traveling, personal development, cultures, all this shebang, trying to live a minimalistic lifestyle as well. And in today's video, we've got a pretty big one, pretty big topic, namely stress. And more specifically, I'll try to give my personal tips on how to tackle stress. I will be proven, scientifically proven, and personally tested tips on how to sort of tackle this debilitating stress that may be quite harmful to your health and so on. There's obviously positive stress as well, and this has place in our lives because let's face it, there is no avoiding stress. We've got to be able to have good techniques, methods to tackle it. And I'm of a firm belief that one belief once this stress monster is stripped naked, it has not it doesn't have us such a power over us anymore, right? So without further ado, let's jump right into it and let's face the music, namely stress. So the first thing that I would mention that I came across maybe as far as 20 years ago while studying. There was this phrase, eat your frogs first. I don't remember who exactly coined the phrase, and right, but what is meant by that? Frogs, unless you're French, are not a delectable and sought after delicacy, I suppose. We don't sort of devour them on an everyday basis due to its sublime taste. How they taste. But this is obviously metaphorically meant to be sort of facing the most challenging problem in the morning. The very first thing you tackle if you work 9 to 5 or whatever, or if you're doing your own business and you sort of push, perhaps it's human tendency to avoid this that is most difficult because we don't want to face the music. This sort of I suppose goes back to fight or flight reaction, or whenever we sort of heard of or saw a predator, then we would opt to normally escape. And the same holds true when it comes to quite big problems. We view them, or actually our sort of reptilian brain views them as a predator, right? So to avoid. But again, scientifically proven, I tested myself. Whenever you've got a big issue, problem, challenge, task, whatever, try to devote, like, start with it, try to tackle it. If you don't find a solution, at least you sort of may perhaps create a good plan to tackle it. If it's like a problem that requires, maybe many days or months to sort of resolve. But I promise you, you will feel great once you've, sort of started with it, once you've faced the problem, and it will give you a boost for the rest of the day as well. And in the long run, it will sort of build your resilience when it comes to tough problems and solving them, facing them. So it's brilliant, eat your frogs fast. Very simple phrase, very powerful sort of thing to do. Number two, the second sort of technique or method that should help you with tackling this debilitating stress is we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By the way, I'm checking some of my notes. We suffer more in our imagination than in reality. This actually is a quotation from Seneca, a very smart philosopher. And what is meant by that, again, we sort of quite often, our imagination can run wild when it comes to imagining different scenarios, how certain thing can play out, quite. And normally, unfortunately, we have a tendency to have negative imagination when it comes to things that stress us out. So, and there's, I think, I have tested three sort of ways to tackle this. First one is rationalize. So what's the sort of what's the worst that could happen? Sort of, if you try to figure out that, what's actually the worst that could happen? Not like very random scenarios, but quite often it's not as scary. And once you've realized, okay, this is the worst that could happen, right? That's fine, right? Probably, normally, in most cases. Um, oh, another one: sleep, eat, and move well, right? Nutritious diet, sort of, Mediterranean diet is good, like eggs, nuts, fruit, fresh vegetables, and so on, fish, uh, as well as good restorative sleep and moving about, exercising if you don't like it, going for walks, you name it, swimming. Uh, all those things kind of sort of boost your body and therefore mind and also resilience for stress. So again, I would suggest this is one of those techniques that can also help you out with trying to avoid suffering in your mind, imagination. And the third little thing that I found helps me with sort of not imagining those doomsday scenarios as distracting yourself with something pleasurable. Ideally, something really absorbing you cognitively, so you don't have again mind space to dwell on those different scenarios. Thinking is good and planning, but overthinking is negative. Rumination, avoid it at all costs. And again, doing some pleasurable, playing tennis, going for a walk, playing with your, I don't know, children, going with friends. It's good to be with humans, even if you're introverted. Find an introvert friend and just read books together, or play chess or whatever. So yeah, right. So eat your frogs first. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Very true. Check it out. Third one, take care of yourself to build resilience. I sort of mentioned it already, here and there, discussing the first two sort of tips on how to tackle stress. Right, because you want to lower the cortisol in your body, the hormone responsible for you feeling stress, the one that sort of is triggered when we want to flee from the fight, right? Or if we need to fight. And again, it sort of helped us survive. But nowadays, there is no really so many life-threatening threats, and a lot of triggers can sort of increase the level of cortisol in your body, and prolonged stress, big amounts of cortisol have, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, very negative consequences on your health and so on. So endorphins and dopamines are the shit, so to speak. You want to increase those hormones that are responsible for you feeling good. Again, we don't want them to overflowing too much, but again, take care of yourself. I would suggest again those three tips I mentioned when it comes to tackling or building a resilience in order not to overthink problems and make up scenarios of how things could go wrong. So again, big ones are trying to get restorative sleep. If you can't do that because you're stressing out, go for walks, long walks, ideally surrounded by nature. Japanese call it forest bathing. Shirinki yoku, I think it's called in Japanese. And it's again scientifically proven to lower stress and heart rate and so on, and heightened blood pressure. Walking in forests or parks or whatever, or on a meadow, just in nature. If you're allergic to nature, I don't know, go for a walk a bit further away from nature, but perhaps looking at some trees from afar to relax your eyesight and so on. Exercising, good diet, very important, and also hanging out with people, as I mentioned. So take care of yourself, right? If you are stressing about something, in order to have this resilience. So number 4, again, breathe, walk, and meditate. I called it. Right. Even if you think that this sort of mumbo jumbo, right, yoga, meditation, or for me, again, I would highly suggest trying it out, because I always thought meditation wasn't for me. But once I tried it again, I used baby steps, just 5 minutes in the morning, five in the evening. It had effect, and again, as in everything in life, those atomic habits, those small changes, but over a longer period of time, yield great results, positive results. So again, I have meditated for the past, I don't remember, maybe 2, 3 years, and I noticed fast, in a way, consciously, I sort of try to check sort of the progress after I think 3 weeks before, that I actually was calmer and felt more relaxed and so on. And it was just 5 minutes in the evening, and in the of just breathing and doing not really much. But there's loads of apps for meditation, but I would suggest avoiding apps. But you can maybe watch a YouTube video just on meditation and get some tips. There's again, people say that you can even walk and sort of have this as a meditation, but perhaps without a podcast, without your phone. Just have a walk and look at some nature and so on. Observe a bird. So, and breathe, right? From your diaphragm, breathing out through your mouth, breathing in through your nose, breathing out through the diaphragm, lower part of your body. Again, it's said to be more conducive to your health, to sort of increasing the positive effects on your health. Breathing from down there, okay, and not from here. This is such scientifically actually proven to have some negative consequences over the long run. But I don't want to go too much into breathing. So again, breathe, walk, and meditate. Number 5, right? Journal, so that your mind is relieved. Again, specifically if you've got this tendency to ruminate, overthink, come up with different and negative scenarios. So you suffer in imagination more than in reality. I think it's a great idea to journal, right? Again, I've tested it myself for many, many years, and I mentioned it in the different videos in regards to sort of as a piece of advice of mine to tackle different challenges of everyday life. And definitely when it comes to stress, sort of relieving your mind, journaling, writing things down of whatever sort. I would suggest maybe writing down 3 things you're thankful for every day, like very short, but can be very prosaic, like they can be for the tasty coffee today, or for the fact that my country is not at war. I don't know, it can be as grand as that, or that I've got food in my fridge, right? Or that I'm healthy, the big ones and so on. But can be small ones, right? Oh, I'm thankful that I got to read that book last week. It can be plenty, right? And or you can journal on whatever bothers you. Once it's on paper, it can be also sort of, it's not in your mind in the same extent, and it's important to write with hand, with paper, notebook. Can be also an iPad, but ideally I would suggest going going analog, right? To feel the paper, feel this ink. You can go fancy with a fountain pen and so on. So it's also can be quite pleasurable. Guilty, I've always enjoyed writing, so I'm quite biased there. But again, there's loads of scientific proof for benefits of writing and journaling, on a regular basis. I would suggest doing it every day for 5 minutes instead of for once a week, maybe for an hour. Again, to build your habit, same as with in case of meditating, right? Baby steps, a bit of green tea. Sorry, just to keep my voice from shutting down. Sorry, I've got this annoying Shaz. I forgot about it, that the buttons are opening on them on their own. Right, the 6th one: social connectedness proves invaluable. I've got to check out my notes because right. You're right. I remember I read a study said that those people that have good quality relationships, not many, but few that you sort of can count on, can talk to, really can spend quality time with, not necessarily even talking, just spending time with, make you feel good, happy. And again, we are social animals, whether you're introverted or extroverted, we need social connectedness. I myself, I'm an introverted, believe it or not. And right, I read a study that those with good quality relationships, they actually checked for immune system, and their immune system was far better than those who did not have such social connectedness. And as the saying goes, you are the sum of the five closest people to you. So this is important to bear in mind. Again, I saw it in different presentations, different sort of scientists and public speakers mention it with those five people. Even when it comes to obesity, I remember I watched a TED talk of a doctor that actually his research was focused on obesity, and yeah, if your friends are fat, you're going to be fat as well. Short story. I mean, yeah, to cut the long story short. So yeah, surround yourself with people that have positive effect on you. Not an easy thing to accomplish, because you're supposed to dump your friends that you've been perhaps friends for 10 or more years. Challenging, but it's your life, so you should be able to sort of see whether people you hang out with are reliable, good for you, and you can sort of be reliable, return the favor in a way. If not, it's perhaps it's a mature thing to do, to say no to such relationships. And again, quality over quantity, remember. Right. Seventh, right, the last piece of advice of mine that should help you out with tackling with debilitating stress, building that resilience against the negative stress. What was it? Right, start your day correctly. What I meant by that, right? Right, don't drain your dopamine reserves first thing in the morning by endlessly scrolling social media, for example, TikTok, you name it, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever is your drug of choice, so to speak. Or if it's not social media, but it can be something else, like I don't know if you're a gamer or whatever. But try to start a day correctly. What I mean by that, you want to preserve those dopamine levels for the rest of the day, and especially maybe when you're sort of starting to eat those frogs fast later on in the day. But again, loads of studies have shown that doing something productive, simple things, and feeling and getting this sense of accomplishment early in the morning really boosts your motivation and dopamine levels for the whole day. Some examples maybe, and again, those are the ones that I do as well. I make my bed. I never touch my phone in the morning, like for at least 1 hour after I woken up. So I do I make bed, I prepare breakfast, I perhaps empty the dishwasher, take care of some laundry, those little things, maybe tidy up a bit in the kitchen or living room or in the hall, those little things. And again, yeah, what else? Yeah, make your bed, empty dishwasher. Right, you can journal for 10 minutes, right, in the morning, ideally. Then 3 things you're thankful for today. Again, yeah, I couldn't, recommend it enough. Um, like listing out 3 simple things you're thankful for. Again, it will push you for the whole day, But it has amazing power. So again, it may sound silly, but give it a go. Give it a go. I don't regret trying it out, even though I was so skeptical at the beginning. Right, read a book for pleasure for 10-15 minutes, meditate or exercise, have a slow morning with a tasty breakfast, right? So again, start in this way and not like, I don't know, turning on TV or perhaps listening to the news, even if it relaxes you. The majority of news tend to be quite negative, unfortunately, because they want to, grasp attention and what better, arrests humans' attention than, some sensational news, right? Anyways, right, I would love to hear what are some of your ways to tackle stress. Do you suffer from stress? How often? What sort of yeah? How do you tackle it? Is it a problem in your life? Again, unavoidable, but hopefully, luckily, there are some ways to tackle it. Also, even smiling. Try to smile as often as possible. Sometimes to fool your mind that you feel bad than you actually do, but it does work. Uh, right, and it can become second nature, right? Anyway, that's it for now. You've obviously subscribed. Cheers for that. Good job. Now, just joking. Consider subscribing if you feel that this sort of content is to your liking. Like the video, comment, all that shebang, and thank you so much for your precious time, the most precious of commodities. And yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye.